So today's topic of conversation is something I remember very well from when I first started shooting, and I still get people in the studio. Do photographers get nerves when they're shooting models? Hell yes. Welcome back, ladies and jelly spoons, to another Confessions of a Photographer. I've had a few people say they're enjoying these and they grind my gears. They're originally supposed to be slightly provocative and controversial, but people have been pulling me aside. You're not getting involved in the comments, you're not getting involved publicly and giving me subjects to talk about. You're just kind of pulling me aside and being like, I quite like watching these, they're kind of fun, they're interesting, they're different. It's nice to have an opinion of someone else who does what I do that may differ from mine, or it reinforces mine, or is within my age group, within the industry, and understands it from where I'm at. And yeah, not quite in a controversial debates that I wanted in the comments maybe, but yeah, get involved, give me some topics, let me talk about some stuff, because you know, these are kind of fun to do, keeps my YouTube ticking over. So please do subscribe, watch the videos. We need watch hours. We actually got enough subscribers, we need watch hours. So when I first started shooting models, I mean, I would say I'm naturally quite a nervous, anxious person anyway. I may not look it, but I am. I don't go through life being excited by new things. I go through life being anxious by new things. So shooting models is definitely something that gets the heart going and gets the brain overthinking and whatnot maybe. And I would say in terms of nerves, years, honestly, if you're watching this video and going, cool, everyone gets nervous, he got nervous, it'll end soon. Honestly, years. I was nervous for years. Just depends on the shoot, depends on the model, depends on how prepared I am. I mean, some people love the spontaneity of shooting someone, and others want to do, you know, something that's really kind of pre-prepared, thought about, mood boarded. That's kind of more my vibe. I like to work with narratives. I don't just like to throw shit at a wall and see what sticks. That's just not who I am. I like to construct a creative piece and then try and achieve a goal. And when I've hit that goal, then I'm satisfied, opposed to just taking something with absolutely no idea, no direction and going, eh. Because for me then, there's unlimited possibilities. And how do you edit it? What do you think about it? What's it saying? What's it doing? Just not my jam. Every once in a blue moon, I have like a mad urge to just work with people for the sake of working with people, just stick them in an outfit and photograph them. Honestly, always disappointed by the results. Not necessarily because the results aren't professional or aren't great or whatever. They don't fulfill me. I just don't see something in them that excites me. I haven't achieved a goal that I set for myself. It's just kind of there and I made it work. And if I'm making something work opposed to created something to work, then it feels like I'm not doing my job properly, because I should be better than not making something work. Making something work is what you do when something doesn't work, which means you haven't done it right. Creating something that works is then an excitable achievement. But anyway, so nerves, absolutely, consistently. Do I get nervous now? I've been doing this, by the way. I probably first picked up a semi-professional camera. I started on a bridge camera, learnt manual. People who tell you don't need to use manual. You don't need to use manual until you go into a studio, until you want to be in control of the situation. Do you want to take event photos outside in natural light? You can stick it in a priority mode or aperture priority, shutter priority mode, fine. But there's nothing those modes can't do that you can't do, unless the light is constantly changing and you can't keep up physically. Then just stick it in manual mode and be in control from day dot, and then you ain't got to worry about anything, have you? Because you've done it. Anyway, so I learned manual on a bridge camera and then realized that because it was a bridge camera and it was a optical zoom on a fixed lens, like lens fixed to the body, it just wasn't good enough. And then I slowly went over to doing live music and then tried to get into portraiture, and that's when you have another person, another stranger who you don't know how they're thinking, how they're going to react to your ideas, how they're going to react to your results. You probably, I mean, when you first start out, you're not going to be the greatest anyway. And then you're going to be working with people who have worked with many others, and then you're going to want to compare what they think of those others to what they think of you. Just natural. Are you going to live up to their expectations? There's someone who you thought was really good, who's worked with loads of good people, who may saw something in you. You know, you might be confident in yourself, but you still fear their judgment that, oh, I've worked with so, and this guy, is he good enough? Is he not good enough? I don't know. And you're going to consider that. Let me just adjust this. So yeah, you're going to look at those pictures. You're going to look at the model's reaction. You're going to want reassurance. You're probably going to, yeah, that's going to last with you. And that's going to last with you with every creative shoot, because you effectively go up to someone with a unique idea who you don't know their personality, and you're going, is this too weird for you? Because this, I know some people are going to find this weird. You're going to be one of the people who find this weird if I approach and say this is something that we need to do. So yeah, in that respect, finding your people, I mean, in life in general, just finding your people. I have taken to just being brutally honest, just say shit as it is. This is what I want to do. I think you'll be cool for it. Are you interested? Yes, no, kiss my ass. If you don't like it, tough shit, 'cause I'm going to shoot it anyway with someone else, and that's your choice, your problem. And live and let live. That is the best way to be, in my opinion. And some people don't like the fact that I'm ridiculously forward and I say shit as it is, but that just means that there is no smokescreen, no bullshit, no devious behaviour, no hidden agendas, no nothing. But back to nerves, because these are things that kind of contribute to nerves, is just the psychological interpretation of people who maybe you obviously can't read the mind of, and you don't understand whether they're on the same page as you, whether they're going to enjoy what you're on about. And then you've got the comparison element of, just like say, you comparing yourself to other people, then it's going to go, you're going to get into it for years and you're going to think you're the dog's bollocks, because naivety means that you're going to at some point think you're the greatest, which you need to do. You absolutely need to do. You need to be very naive in that you keep going, because if you thought you were shit, then you'd pack it in, right? You just wouldn't bother. So you need that naivety of you're hitting these things that you want to achieve, and you can do it better than other people until you realise you can't. But you need that to get past the point where you constantly improve, because if you just went straight in from I'm crap and you stay at that level, then you're gonna probably throw it in too early. And yeah, so nerves are a good thing in that respect. You want to keep yourself on your toes. You want to if you're nervous, you care. You want to deliver the best you can. I guess there's two separate types of nerves: whether you think you can deliver it, so you're nervous, or whether it means a lot to you that you want to deliver the best you can. And I think if it's the former, then you just got to practice and work with people also at that level, also on that page, who are newer, or flip side of that, do what we do at Splashpoint, do studio days, work with models who are well experienced with working with new people, and you set them up on pose and you have a few ideas and just throw it at them and then see what happens. I mean, I've done a few, I won't say they were studio days, but I've done a few one-on-one model days back in Birmingham with a photographer, and assisted with people. I started assisting with a photographer on the Hair Awards, and that's probably a good way to go, because I would say I honed my eye on that, because I knew what Raf was looking for. I didn't originally, but then I understood the light and the vibe and stuff. And then that kind of stepped up the quality of what I look for in a portrait. And of course, I probably brought that back down over time because of my different influences from maybe more raw, candid vibe photographers, like, I don't know, photographers who maybe play a little on the edginess and the lighting's not perfect. It's a bit more raw and in your face, and that adds to the narrative. Whereas some people can get really stuck on the professional perfection route where everything's just, painted by numbers 24/7, and that gets boring. But yeah, nerves, I keep coming back. I feel like I keep moving away from nerves and then just kind of going off on side paths, side thingy-majiggers. So with nerves, and everybody gets them, honestly. I think probably the only people who don't get nervous in life, factually speaking, are psychopaths. So I'm not sure if you want to put yourself in that category and pretend you don't get nervous. To this day, I don't really get particularly nervous unless I am not confident in what it is I am shooting. That's a different, going back to what I said earlier, there's two types of nerves. I think that's a different set of nerves, and that would come about just purely because maybe it's not a confidence in the person I'm shooting. Maybe I know an idea what I want to shoot, and I haven't fully developed how I want to go about it, how I want to light it. So that puts me in that grey area of, I don't know what it is I'm trying to achieve. I've just got a really cool idea, and normally I would have an idea that is fully formed, and I've got an idea of how I want to light it. And if I'm not sure, then I'm just winging it. It's a bit different from, I have a vague idea of how I want to light it, and I'm going to have to bespoke it at the time. So it's another thing. You can become a control freak, right? And that's going to make you nervous as well, and not understand the amount of different variables that are going to happen in a shoot. If you're in a unique environment, the light's going to bounce around that room completely different from an environment that you're used to shooting in 24/7, just because that's how lighting works. Whether you got white walls, you got neons, you got papers that you can't see behind the camera. Just flip this around. They're going to kick back. Whatever color that is going to influence your white balance, your just general kind of, any light that reflects around the room is going to bounce off different objects of color, and it's going to come into your white balance. That's something you need to consider. You may have a bunch of ideas in tight spaces that are going to require you to engineer lighting out of those tight spaces to make it look interesting and exciting, editorial and professional. There are going to be so many different variants and nuances that you're just going to have to tackle. So again, being a control freak is going to make you too nervous. That's probably another thing. That's probably why I suffer from anxiety, because I like to know what I'm doing. Before I do anything, I like to know what I'm doing. I like to know what I'm expecting, because then I know I can deliver it and I can prepare for it. I can have a plan B, plan C, plan D. And I like to be overly prepared. I'm one of these people, if I'm doing a shoot outside of a studio that I know is fully equipped, I'm going to take too much equipment, because what if I need it? And yeah, nerves still exist with new models. It depends on the model. I think I've worked with so many models now that you see them on Purpleport, on any kind of site where there's a casting where they're talking about how amazing they are and how great they are, and then they turn up and they're really timid, they're scared of their own shadow. That happens a lot. You need to realise that people are human, literally. Models are human. They're going to give a full sense of bullshit and confidence. Just like you might be trying to be like, hey, I'm really good at doing this. So this is what I like to do. And maybe you don't even believe it yourself. They're going to do the same, imposter syndrome. And be like, hey, look how great I am. I've done this, and this. I'm going to turn up. And honestly, a lot of people in this industry are introverted. They do it because they're insecure and they want a creative output. In terms of models, they might do it because they're reassured that they're pretty, that they're interesting, that they're exciting. Honestly, a lot of people in this industry, very insecure, very introverted, creative weirdos on the spectrum, like the bizarre things in life, and that is what makes everyone really interesting to photograph. But at the same time, when they're writing how amazing they are, and you think, oh my God, I'm getting into this with a professional model who's been doing it 5 years and I've got no experience, and they're crazy, and they turn up, and honestly, some of the models don't even after that length of time, don't understand key lighting. You're like, your key light's there, and they're like, where? And others are just extremely good at the lighting stuff and everything in between. There are different levels of professionalism. People focus on different aspects in terms of the modeling. Like say some people focus on them as a brand. Some people will understand the lighting and have an interest in photography. Others just want to turn up, look pretty, get paid and smile and be happy that people find them pretty. The whole scale is massive and interesting to, see who turns up when you've read a lot of castings and you maybe get yourself in a bit of a tiz because you're like, fucking hell, this person's really experienced, got a massive reputation, and little old me is about to shoot them, and then they turn up and they're the most down-to-earth, normal people in the world, and you stay in contact on social, certainly in this day and age, maybe not 15 years ago when I started shooting, memeing each other back and forth, and you just got a random friend who at one point was scary, and now he's just some random geek on your level who you can have a bit of a laugh with. People, again, are people. No matter who you are, no matter who they are, there's going to be chemistry. I have worked with some lovely, lovely models, and I had absolutely fuck all chemistry with them. The example I'm thinking of, I won't say it showed in the picture or the images, but it was just quiet and it was awkward and there was no chatter between shots. It was just like, this is hard and difficult. And I've worked with other people who I wouldn't necessarily say are great and I thought particularly amazing, but I had a great chemistry and rapport with them. The ideal world, of course, is you want to find people who fulfill both. I mean, you're never going to be at the two extremes. You don't want to be at the extreme where they're incredible and you have a rapport with them, because the chance of that is null and void. That's going to come with a bias, isn't it? You're going to have that bias towards someone because everybody's going to be subjective at that extreme, and that extreme, like someone who's really awkward in front of the camera might be someone's favorite because of that, because they offer that a different vibe. Everyone looks for something different. Like I say, you got the chemistry, you got the subjectiveness. There is an objectiveness in terms of ability, in terms of people who are trying to be professional, in terms of people who care, but you're going to have to ride the wave, and nerves are going to be a part of that, and you're going to find yourself nervous with some people and not others, and vice versa. I think if you put Kate Moss in front of me now, or I don't know, a model who, I don't really have any models that I really like. I said for the longest time, Tatiana Elizabeth, but there aren't many models that are like famous. Maybe it's because I just don't keep my nose in the business. I just don't care about that side of schmoozing and networking, and I just don't really care. Every now and then, I work on like, if someone just ends up on my radar and I'm like, wow, which is kind of what happened with Tatiana Elizabeth. I'll be like, yes, I would love to work with them. I think if I landed someone of that stature, Tatiana Elizabeth, I don't know if you know her, she does a lot of commercial work. She was on America's Next Top Model. I kind of lost interest with her when she got fake boobs, like bigger fake boobs. She originally had fake boobs and I never realised, and I really don't like fake boobs. For me to not realise, obviously she didn't do new modelling, so they were always in lingerie, as it were. She was doing lingerie stuff, so you couldn't really tell. And it suited her frame, and then I saw the pictures she put up and they looked too big for her, and I was like, they look awful. She must have had them done. I clicked on a story on Instagram. It was like, now they are proportionate to me. I was like, no, they're not, because I just noticed that they really weren't and they looked awful. Felt bad for saying that. Shall I leave that in? I don't know. So, yeah, if I had someone of a stature who I had looked up to for a long time, I thought, who just caught my eye, and I was like, wow. And they were kind of at that commercial level where they were doing commercial stuff on the regular, not like someone who gets the odd commercial job every now and then is part of an agency, but someone who, is getting commercial work, and like your Kate Mosses of the world who've got a bit of fame behind them, then I'm sure I'd probably shit myself a little. In terms of every day, again, it just depends on how confident I am at executing the idea, whether I can nail it. But yes, photographers get nervous. If you're a model, photographer is big load of bullshit bravado. He's either arrogant and a bit of a tosser, or he's probably nervous and covering it up. So take it easy on him, and vice versa. You know, like I said, there's a lot of models out there who talk a great game and then in person they're shy and insecure. So, you know, we're just humans. Just be honest with one another. The best thing you can do in life is be honest, because at least you're giving you to people, they're giving them to you, and everyone knows who each other are, and there's no guesswork, there's no hiding behind characters and bullshit. I mean, if you're a character actor type model, maybe. I know a lot of models who maybe put on a kind of fake confidence, and that is fine if they can pull it off and it doesn't affect who they are. Like I say, it's not an arrogance thing that comes through and they're bullshitting you and bollocking you. This video is going to be long. I'm just going to cut it here because I'm just rambling. Nerves. Absolutely happens. You're going to get them 9 times out of 10 unless you're a psychopath, so don't worry about it. You're going to have to get through it. The only thing that's going to get you through it is just repetition and experience. Work with people, work with lots of different people. You're allowed to get nervous. Even if you're experienced, you're allowed to get nervous. Just do your thing, and everyone's different. You're going to feed off it differently from other people. Like these videos, I hated for the longest time doing YouTube videos and talking to the camera. I just refused to do it, and now I've got to a point where I do it as a hobby and I just sit and talk. Well, it helps I got a half decent camera for starters. It's just easier now to set up. If it was a big pain in the arse, I was setting up microphones. I mean, this is actually a bit more of a set than I normally do because I'm shooting in the studio today, so I've had to actually pull lighting, move stuff out of the way and set something up opposed to doing it on my computer where that lighting is already there for me to do it. Stuff like that, then it feels more of a chore, more of a problem. I feel more of a dickhead. But I'm so used to just talking to the camera for no reason now and listening to my own voice when I'm editing that as long as I'm in control of the edit, quite content. Again, that's down to just doing it, just taking a step and thinking, fuck it, and then getting enough experience in them about that. Do I enjoy doing these videos? I won't say I don't enjoy them. I say I still get a bit hot and sweaty and anxious occasionally. I had a new haircut, by the way. Anyway, it's a bit better than it was earlier, wasn't it? I think anxiety is part of anything, nerves are part of anything, because it means you care, and if you care, then you want to do good work, and if you want to do good work, then anyone who has a problem with that, you know, fuck them, because you can only do what you can do. Just try and be honest, don't try and take on more than you can bite off, so you're not stringing people along and bullshit them saying you're better than you are. Try and be semi-realistic, but, you know, I say that in that you will know if you're ready for a challenge and whether you think you can do that challenge. If you don't think you can do that challenge, I mean, giving you bad advice because we live in a world of people on LinkedIn who just talk utter bollocks and lie their way to the top by being absolutely fucking useless. So maybe you just ignore this and just bullshit your way into every possible job you can get and not have a fucking clue what you're doing and just pretend that it wasn't embarrassing every time you make yourself look like a twat and you can't do something and pretend you're the greatest anyway and it's everybody else's problem. I think that's probably the best way. But if you want to have a bit of integrity and, you know, realism, then just embrace the nerves and the anxiety and just know when you're ready and pull the trigger. I mean, if you're already shooting models while you're nervous, then you've got the balls to do that, then you're already on the right path, right? So just ride it out, and if it's too much for you to handle that you don't enjoy it, then it's something you're gonna have to consider. But otherwise, if the results and the rewards are bigger than the nerves, then you're gonna be sitting here in like 15 years time like I am, talking like a twat on YouTube. Peace.